Samantha from Samantha Designs 2. It is time to do my Craft Roulette submission for episode 274 that aired last night on July 4th. Okay, so the project is a thank you card, so I did get out my lovely cute sentiments from Dollar Tree with all my thank yous, because that's kind of what I reach for these days. Colors are decorations. I mean, that could be yard decorations, be Christmas decorations, could be 4th of July decorations. So again, color palette wide open. Element is hand or hands. I am going to cheat, or I feel like I'm cheating. I'm going to use this Spellbinders April 2021 Card Club Kit stamp set that I got with that kit. And I'm using this little daisy situation here. And this mug has a handle. Hand. That's what I'm going to do. And then random is tone and tone. I am going to use a pink card base, and I am going to be adding some pink raspberry for a lighter and a more saturated pink going on. That is the plan. I feel like, I really do feel like I'm cheating, but it is what it is. So I'm not even going to score this bad boy. This is not very thick cardstock, so I'm going to just do this and fold it. Back in the day, I never scored cards when I made them. I always did it this way. Or did you do that too? How long have you been in card making? Is that something you did? I don't know. Okay, so for this little situation, I'm going to get my little sponge dauber here. This one's going to beat up. Okay. And I always get my hands in this. So to try to keep that under control, I'm going to get a little bit of my Post-it tape here. That is sticking a little bit too well to itself. Try not to tear it, but there you go. I'm just going to tear off a little piece. And I put the sticky side on my fingers. This is what I do. My thought is to do about half and half. I am not going to be, super linear about it in that I'm not saying it has to be a complete straight line there. I just don't see any reason in doing that. The reason I love Distress Oxides is because it does cover up. It's pretty opaque. Depending on how, much you use. And this actually is a pretty juicy pad. And I feel like I use pink raspberry all the time, but maybe I don't. Now, what I'm not doing is considering trying not to get this on the inside of my card, because I don't really want to do that. So that part's kind of difficult. Okay, and I'm just going to do smooth, smooth, smooth. Kind of looks like pink velvet. It's kind of cool, isn't it? See, I did get a little bit in there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let this dry while I work on other things. Okay, I did a little bit of cleanup, so I'm just going to take this little piece of scrap that I have. Place it here. I had to buy me some more little magnets. The ones I had broke. I've never had a magnet, but they snapped together and they literally broke in two. And I was like, oh, okay. These are from My Sweet Petunia. Did I get this from Amazon? I think that's where I got them from. I don't remember. I'm not going to use all of this cardstock because I'm going to cut this out, I think. What I'm thinking... Oh, did I already lose that die set? Eek! Dang it. I think I'm going to use this. I think this is a pretty pink Posh die. And so I think I'm going to cut that out. So I'm going to kind of put it in the middle. I did make a little bit of a mess right then because I dropped one of my things. But anyway, that's fine. What I like about these is that they're pretty decently flat. I don't know if you can see that. Look how thin that is. And I like that about these. Okay, I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black. And I am going to color this in. And I am going to put the thank you on the cup, on the mug. But am I going to do not watercolors? I'm not going to do watercolors. I did watercolors last time. Am I going to do pencils or do I want to use Copics? I'm kind of getting over the Copic thing because I'm going to be honest. I don't have very many colors. They are starting to dry out a little bit. I kind of want the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers just because you get the light, dark, and the medium all in one set. But I just don't have the funds at the moment to make that kind of purchase. So I'm just kind of making do with what I have, which means there may be more watercoloring and more colored pencils in my future, which is good. Okay, I love this little image. I'm a big daisy fan. Daisies are my favorite flower. And that's also the favorite flower of the character in You Got Mail that Meg Ryan plays. They are the friendliest flower. I agree with that statement. If you're wondering, I am going to be coloring this with some cheapo color pencils I got from Dollar Tree because that's what I have. So I don't think you're going to want to see any of this because it's really not going to be anything major because I'm just going to be making the center yellow like daisies with I'm going to leave the white and then color the mug. So I'll be back in a little bit. While I'm coloring these, another thing I was thinking about, I have certain items that I've bought more than once because I've gotten rid of it and then bought another one. So one of those is like my brayer that I use, have that. And then I bought the other, this was a couple months ago. Oops. I bought me a new crimper. You guys I used to have a one that was much bigger and stuff than that. But I love that thing now. And another thing that I miss is watercolor pencils. I'll have to say that, yeah. I would really love to have some watercolor pencils again too. If I get any watercolor pencils though, I think I'm going to get the distress ones because, let's face it, Tim Holtz makes good products and I love the distress ink colors and I think those watercolor pencils would be fun. But that's another purchase that I need to save up for. What is something that you have bought more than once for your craft room? You decided you didn't like it, you ended up getting rid of it, and then you came back to it. Just curious. Put it in the comments below. All right, I'm going to keep coloring. Okay, it's all finished coloring. It is time to cut this out. Okay, here is it all cut out. It's really cute, right? I love this little shape it leaves. I gotta use that for something. I'm keeping this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'm gonna keep it. All right. Now let's decide what thank you. I think I'm gonna go for this little bitty one that's kind of scripty because I like scripty things. I'm gonna put thank you right there. That's my thought. Anyway. Again, I'm using my Memento Tuxedo Black. Gosh, that's hard to say. That is super cute. It fits in there just perfectly. Like that mug actually says thank you. Well, it does because I made it do that. Also with this spellbinder set, there are some daisy dies as well. I think I'm going to cut out one of these out of a little scrap for the inside of the card. That's not big enough scrap, huh? Because I just think that would tie it all together really nicely. So for this, all I need is my little craft buddy. I don't need anything big. I'm going to use this. And, oh, get in there. Excuse me, I have major dry cough today. I guess I can thank my blood pressure medicine for that. suctions so well to my... And for this, where... That's not the right one. Hold on. Let me find my tweezers. Ah, so cute. What I should do is use the pencils to color the center of this, but I'm not. I'm going to use a brush, and this is Distress Ink and Scattered Straw, and I'm going to use that to just color in the middle of this, and it probably has a little bit of brown left on it from whatever I used this for previously. So are my yellow's going to match? No. Not even close, but that's what I decided to do. All right, here's my two-toned background. I think that looks okay. I think I do want to pop it up though. So, gonna use some Dollar Tree foam because I have it. And if you have something, you should be using it, right? One of the things I love about this challenge is that it does make me creatively go looking for items that maybe I haven't used in a while. Because I always feel like you have all these things, but you tend to stick to the same stuff all the time, which is true. For me, it's pattern paper. Is kind of, and I have tons of it, don't get me wrong, there's tons of it. But following a sketch using pattern paper is kind of my go-to thing. I really like ephemera and elements. I do like stamping and coloring, but not as much as I like quickly having all of that ready for me to do. Let's be honest. And that's just the kind of, card maker I am. I am not always the one coloring critters, which I have to say that this is a challenge that I end up doing that more often than not. And I like that because I feel like I'm giving those items in my stash their time to shine by doing it. Okay, see, I like that. I like it. It gives it a little bit of dimension. Okay, this, I'm not going to add a piece of white paper here because this is loaded up that whoever gets this card, or if I send it myself, you can write on this pink. It's not bad. I'm going to use a little bit of my Craft Bond liquid just to hold my little daisy here because I just want a little something different on the inside. I rarely put, remember when you never put the sentiment on the outside of the card, you always put that on the inside? That was way back in the day. Okay. So, thank you card is taking care of decorations. You can find these kind of decorations all in your yard, especially in the spring. Hand, I'm cheating because this has a handle where your hand goes, so that's my element for that. And tone on tone, the pink and the pink. I like it. It's very simple, very easy. I could have definitely put some kind of texture in the background. That would have been really cute as well. But when I make these cards, a lot of times I kind of lean a little bit more towards simple, and I think that's lovely. I do like the fact that I put the daisy on the inside. I think that's brings it into the, the outside of the card into the inside, and this is where you can write your sentiment. Okay, guys, I thank you for hanging out with me for my Craft Roulette submission for episode number 274. See you next time.